up for 40 odd something hours. The sweat on my back's got my shirt soaked in sour. And oh, it's already gone. Second night's coming and I'm spinning back around. We're all caught up, can't hear or feel the sound. And oh, it's already gone. And here comes the feeling when you don't got nothing and all you want to do is get up and start running. You can't hide long cause you know it's gonna start up again. Here's one thing that I know for certain, this life's too short to be worrying about you hurting for long. Oh, it's already gone. Got time but money's not something that's free. Seems the roll of the dice never rolls back to me. And oh, it's already gone. A bird in my hand, two cans in the other, start spinning around. Now here comes another, and oh, it's already gone. And here comes the feeling when you don't got nothing and all you want to do is get up and start running. You can't hide long cause you know it's gonna start up again. Here's one thing that I know for certain, this life's too short to be worried about you hurting for long. Oh, it's already gone. And all you want to do is get up and start running. You can't hide long cause you know it's gonna start up again. Here's one thing that I know for certain, this life's too short to be worried about you hurting for long. Whoa, it's already gone. Already gone. It's already gone. Go.
What is up, Jags fans? We are here on a Friday night on a regularly scheduled programming. That's what we do, Tuesdays and Friday nights. And I'm pretty excited. I'm pretty excited about tonight because we get to dive into new Jaguars defensive coordinator, Anthony Campanile. We don't know, but the reason why we don't know is because he's never been a defensive coordinator before, but he has worked under some good people and some good schemes. We're going to get to all of that and more on tonight's show. I have a lot of clips loaded up, and let me just get out in front of this one. All the clips I have loaded up are from the Packers when he was a linebackers coach. So does that mean this is the defense he's going to run? We don't know. Will it look something like that? Probably, but we don't really know much. So what we're going to emphasize tonight when we watch this film is specifically how the linebackers play and how they do against the run, because technically he was the linebackers coach and the run game coordinator, and he's had that job at a lot of different spots. So I feel like he's kind of taken some ownership in that, and he's kind of done it. And to be fair, like, if you look at like what the Packers have to say and you look through like what has happened with the Packers linebackers, Quay Walker like had his best season. Like Packers fans were ready to, he was drafted in 2022. Packers fans were ready to give up on Quay Walker, and he had his best season this year. Now, it's hard to draw comps to Quay Walker and Jaguars linebackers because Quay Walker is like huge. He's like DN size. He's like 6'4", 250. So the Jags don't really have a 6'4", 250 linebacker on the roster, but maybe Devin Lloyd, who's 6'3", 240, could kind of fill that role, maybe. They had a rookie, Edgerrin Cooper, who was like won all kind of rookie awards the last 2 months of the season. And he's their Mike linebacker. Admittedly, you know, he would come off the field sometimes in nickel packages, or they had Isaiah McDuffie, and it's kind of hard to draw comps. I really was trying to draw comps between Edgerrin Cooper and Isaiah McDuffie to the Jags players, but the guys we have, Ventrell Miller, Foye Oluokun, they're kind of in between the sizes of those guys. So I couldn't really, in good faith, give you a comp, but we can still maybe connect some dots, correlate some things to maybe how he will use our linebackers. Good news is the Packers did run an even man front of 4-3. We'll get into more of that later, but he did do that. My light is so bright. Hold on, I gotta fix this. All right, my goodness, dude. My light was like blinding me. Okay. All right. So now we're on to that. Appreciate you guys being here. Thank you. This is a fan show. I say this every show. Get into the comments and give me your thoughts on Anthony Campanile. We'll call him Campanile. And if it's wrong, we'll fix it later in later shows. Get what you think, how he'll do. I know the comments kind of take off in their own direction sometimes, but that's completely okay. But I want to get to your comments. This is a fan show. I want to get to your thoughts and all that. So before we get to the film, check out everything in the video description. There's all kind of stuff in there. I may be joined later by a special guest. We'll see. And there's all kind of stuff in there. So check out the video description. Follow everything. Subscribe to everything. First one in the comments, Jeff Kono says first. Yeah, Jeff, you were first. Congratulations on being here. Congratulations. And he goes on to say, Duval. That's right. He said it that way. I could tell. He was saying it the way Liam Cohen said it. That's how we're going to say it for a little bit. I'm sorry. If that makes you turn this show off, that's fine. Duval. Shay's the first channel member in the chat. He says, let's go. Robert Atchert says, yo. Grant says, dad. I hope not. And then Duval. Montana says, my fellow Italian. Yeah, that's right. He is Italian for sure. Stray Studio says, Duval. I love it. Duval. I love it. Let's effing go. Duval, Liam, Cohen. Yay. Montana says, I called this pick as soon as I heard he was interviewing. Well, Montana, you may have a future in being a psychic or a fortune teller, perhaps. I didn't see this coming. I thought Anthony Pleasant, I thought Anthony Graham would be the two names ahead. But, I mean, the elephant in the room is that this coaching staff is starting to be assembled without much experience. And the reality of it is there is some drawbacks to having a coaching staff without experience. Now, retaining Heath Farwell, I thought was a great move. Heath Farwell is widely respected as one of the best special teams coaches in the league. So good with that. But it's looking like our head coach, our D coordinator, and our soon-to-be named offensive coordinator are all going to be first time at their jobs. There's probably a little bit of trial and error in that. But as long as we see a little bit of progression, I think we're okay. And that's the good thing about Anthony Campanile is that he has had progression everywhere that he went. Just a little introduction. The Packers last year ranked 7th in the NFL in run defense, so under 100 yards a game. That's pretty good, especially in the era of running quarterbacks. Third in yards per rush, 4 yards per rush. They ranked 6th in NFL in points allowed, 19, a little under 20, and 5th in yards per allowed per game. So I like him a lot. And let me get to why I like him. And this, again, it's hard to get any read on what he's going to do because he's not the coordinator. But here is something that I did like that he did. or he said, I guess, more importantly. And so just check this out right here.
First one, the running back touchdown pass, and then the kind of busted coverage on the Zay Flowers 75.
Yeah, I think one of those is communication, and then I really just kind of chalk them up to me. There's no bad soldiers, only bad generals. Is the way I look at it. So I got to do a better job coaching them, and I'm the general of that room, so that's on me. And I think I got to do a better job preparing the guys and getting them in better position. When I tell you that's a guy that does everything you ask of him, he'll play through anything, do everything, and do all the extra. For me, that just, I put that on myself. That's my honest answer to you, so I got to do a better job coaching him.
I don't know if you guys could hear that or not, because I don't have my audio settings correctly inputted to where I could hear it. But what he said was they asked him about a game when he was with the Dolphins, where his linebackers gave up 2 touchdowns. And they asked, what was the issue? What was the problem? And he immediately went to defending his guys. He immediately went to a very famous quote by Napoleon Bonaparte, who says, "There's no bad soldiers. There's only bad generals." One of my favorite quotes of all time. And why I like that is because it's a top-down mentality of ownership. And I think that's why Liam Cohen likes him, because Liam Cohen kind of had that same thing. He kind of had that same principle throughout his press conference that, this is a top-down. It starts with me, and it trickles down. And as Keeter says, Campanile, love it, Campanile, which we'll say now, said, "There's no bad soldiers. There's only bad generals." I like that. Take some ownership. So that kind of sold me on him, because the best way I could explain him through watching him talk is he's kind of like a strength coach in the way that he coaches. And I love strength coaches. They're high energy. They're get after it. GATA. They're get after it. So that's always a good thing. Punchlines with the $5 super chat. Punchlines has been donating a lot lately, and I really appreciate that. Thank you. Punchline says, "Ass whooping is universal." And that's a quote from Anthony Campanile in a film breakdown, a film study he did with his team, where he talked about how it doesn't matter who you are, what type of player you are. He is that's the mentality they're going to take. So he has the right mentality, and he's saying the right things. And because we've never seen him in the role as a defensive coordinator, that's all we have to go off of. So excited to see that. Hopefully it translates. Thank you for the $5 punchline. I appreciate that. Getting to a few more comments here, and then we'll start looking at the film. Who do we want in the first round pick? We'll get to that later. We got plenty of shows in the offseason. We're going to talk about draft. Tonight, we're talking about Anthony Campanile. Duval Paul says, full-timer? I took yesterday off. I went to church last night. Yeah, doing good. Had to get my mind right. Had to get my mentals right, all that. So that was good. Didn't do that, but back here tonight. So yeah, I'd say full-timer. Jacob O'Brien says, Foyer Pro Bowl? That dude Evan Chandler says, good to see you, Jason. You know what, that dude Evan, it's better for me to see you. I'm glad to see you. So I appreciate the sentiment. Topa says, what's up, Jason? Not much. Had an interesting last 2 days. And I'm gonna be quick here. I know people here are like, oh, I'm here to watch film. I'm sorry. This is what we do. They're long shows, okay? Interesting last 2 days. I had to basically fire 2 people yesterday and today. One each day. The one yesterday let me have it. Cursing, screaming. It was a female, so they get a little more emotional. Let me have it. Took it on the chin. Not my first time firing somebody, but probably the most I've been screamed at. That was interesting. I'd say it threw me off for maybe 2 minutes, and then I was back at it. And then today, the firing went really well. Very understanding, both on the same page. So mental state's good. It could have potentially gone south, and it didn't. So, Topa, I appreciate you asking. Thank you. It means a lot to me that you guys care about me. Jagger says, what's up, guys? Topa says Packers fans had a lot of positive things to say about Anthony, and of course, some fans didn't want him to go. That dude Evans says it's so nice not to worry about if this was a bulky hire or not. Robert Lamison whooping ass. He gets back on it. Foye middle linebacker. Campanile, we got that one. Just check the news. Some of the just got there whooping ass whooped in Spain. No, A is an 8. A. 8. Campanile. Campanile. Put it in Google Translate. I'll figure it out once they say it. Could Cohen interview Carberry if he just slaps run game coordinator on top of the O-line job? Is that considered a promotion? So I think as I've read it and Storm the Desert's referring to these Tampa Bay guys that are being blocked that Liam Cohen worked with, they're not letting us interview. I think the rule of law, the letter of the law says they have to be promoted to coordinator. Like, I think that's what it says, unfortunately. So I don't think that would work. Could assistant head coach work? I don't know. I know that's how some teams get around it, but are you going to bring in like an O-line coach and name him? I mean, maybe. I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of intricacies to this. I don't know. Punchline says, Daryl Slayton is a 330-pound defensive tackle free agent in Green Bay we could get. Very good against the run. I had a guy thank me after I fired him. We were just firing ever. That's a guy that's got it figured out. That's whoever you fired has got it figured out. Tough couple of days. Glad you could lay on our couch. Yeah. I'm on call and I would get a call as soon as you go live. I'm glad to be back. I love it. Brandon, I'm glad you're here. All right, let's jump into some film. What do y'all think about that? What do y'all think about that? All right, so well, here's what I like about Anthony Campanile. The most important, the biggest thing I like about him is the discipline his linebackers show. Regardless of what formation the opposing team is showing him, it's extreme discipline. I love it. It's awesome. I liked how they were against the run, and he's really good at designing blitzes for his linebackers. Those are the three things I'm going to focus on. And again, very limited on what I can even decipher from him being the linebackers coach. And I'm just going to be honest with you guys. So here's the first one I'm telling you about: discipline on the play action. So here's the Packers. And again, they got that 3-man or the 4-man front. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's good. That's what we ran last year. And this team they're playing may look familiar. They may look familiar. Let me minimize myself a bit here. Okay. This team may look familiar. They're a pretty bad team. I'm not sure exactly who they are. They look familiar, but can't identify them at the moment. Anyways, so here you're going to see, and here's one thing you're going to see is that there's a lot of communication between the linebackers, right? When these linebackers are constantly communicating, you're going to see them constantly shifting and moving. Anthony Campanile talks about how he wants his players to be in the right position pre-snap, and like pre-snap is more important than disguise. And that's a philosophy some defensive coaches take. Bill Belichick's a big believer in being where you're supposed to be pre-snap. And it's just different, okay? It's not bad or good. It's just different. So here you're going to see against the Jags. The Jags are in 2 tight end set, 1 running back. We'll call this ace 12 personnel. And then the Jags run a play action here. Little pre-snap motion. And I know this isn't a big deal. And like, it shouldn't be a big deal on this one play. But what I'm trying to point out is like, watch how everybody moves with the motion. They do this every single play. Every play that I show you, you're going to see this. Like, they're all on the same page on where they're supposed to be pre-snap. And that actually means a lot more than you may think. If you're thinking that doesn't mean a lot. Okay. So here we go. A little pre-snap shift. Jags run a play action to the offense's right. And in Press Taylor typical form, running a play action to the bootleg offense's left with no routes over here. I don't want to harp on somebody that's gone. But who are you trying to fool? There's no routes over here. There's no. He's bootlegging to the field side because this is the field side because they're on the hash. He's bootlegging to the field side with no routes. It's comical. It is absolutely comical. But okay, Jason, it's a designed screen. It's a designed get out here, stop, and throw it back to try to get them moving. Well, unfortunately, they weren't moving. Everyone flowed to the play action and stayed there. I mean, this guy's face down on the ground, and there's still nobody really open. I mean, Trevor maybe could have hit this here. Or this is not an offensive breakdown. Stop it. He gets up pretty quick. Tries to throw it out of the running back. Gain of 3. Great job, Jags. Great job. But watch the linebackers. You'll see here. Discipline. Zone drop. Gets there. I mean, it is what it is. It is what it is. All right, here's another one. Talking about discipline. This is against the Eagles. And the Eagles here are going to run an RPO. And they have a lot of they're going to run a lot of misdirection here in the backfield. You can see, again, the communication between all the linebackers here. It's just a little RPO. But the RPO is designed to get the linebackers moved the other direction. So, like, their RPO is the inside zone to the running back here. So what they're attempting to do is to get their linebackers to flow. Okay, you get the DN to bite, and then that gets your tight end wide open. That's the design of the play. A disciplined defense, he'll fill the gap. That's his job. But then Quay Walker will be patient. He'll sit here, and this safety will come flying downhill and read the RPO correctly. Not bad. Not bad. Here's another RPO. This is against the Bears. And I will say, like, the Bears-Packers matchups were kind of weird. Like, because I watched all the Packers games, and, like, the Packers played their worst games against the Bears. Like, they just really didn't play well against the Bears. They beat them by 1 point the first time, and they lost to them the second time. But whatever. I mean, this is another RPO, and this is a little more. Again, this is the type of play that we expect Liam Cohen to run, and this is why it's exciting to see. So this is a Liam Cohen formation. You have 2 backs in gun, and you have 1 tight end. So 21 gun motion, which is pretty rare. I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty rare. So you're going to get this motion here. So there's a lot of – this is going to require a lot of discipline out of your line. You got 2 linebackers. They're nickel. You got a box safety. But this requires a lot of discipline out of these guys. There's a lot of things going on. A lot of what they call window dressing in the NFL. Like, this could have gone a lot of different directions. This could have gone a handoff here. Could have gone a quarterback power here, could have gone a jet sweep here, but they hand it off to the back, and he's going to look for this gap here in between the A and B gaps. Hey, Packers do a good job. Again, he's the run game coordinator, so he works with the D line. He's not just working with the linebackers. He's the run game coordinator. He does a good job. I mean, this is a pretty tricky play. And I know what you're thinking, like, oh, it's the Bears. But Caleb Williams had a lot of success running against the Packers. The first game they played, he had like 70 yards rushing. He was more efficient in the short passing game, and the second time they played, not as much of a runner. But they did struggle with the Bears a good amount. We'll take that. Here's a screenplay on 3rd down. Oh, this team may look familiar. I can't identify this team. They don't seem to have an identity. So I'm having trouble identifying them. But they may look familiar. But here you're gonna see this is 3rd down. Third and 1. Just for everyone to okay, we'll call this 2. We'll call this 2. We'll call this 2.1. 2.1 yards they got to get here. Draw it up, press. Draw it up, Doug. And what I like here is like sometimes you see the Jags, sometimes they're kind of like lollygagging to the ball. I mean, everyone's getting to the ball here. Everyone's getting to the ball. I mean, this kind of goes back to the whooping ass type thing. This is it right here. When they blitzed the linebacker, I mean, they blitzed this linebacker. They put pressure on Trevor, made him get it out quick, and then just rally to the football. I mean, numbers-wise, with Britton Strange over here, you have 1, 2, 3 blockers, 3 on 2, and with a blitzing linebacker. This play should pick you up yards. It really should, but as we know with the Jags. You can watch it from the end zone if you'd like. All right, last one from the disciplined folder here. This is against the Eagles. All right, and again, watch how this is why I really liked this play here. Okay, because when you see the play post snap, you realize that the Packers are in man coverage. Like they are man on man on man. So like this is like man coverage all the way through and through. But what's crazy is this DB doesn't follow the receiver. So Jalen Hurts, watching how they handle the motion, thinks the Packers are in zone because they just pass off the responsibility to the next guy. Watch. Pre-snap motion, tell you what the defense is in. They just shift everyone over. So Jalen Hurts is thinking, okay, we got zone. They just bumped this linebacker out to this wide receiver. We got zone defense. So let's attack this play like we're attacking a zone defense. Nope, we're in man. Got the quarterback here, and he's playing middle of the field free safety. And he's got the running back. Great job disguising it. Gain of 2. Watch it again. There's a little subtleties that I know don't seem that important to you guys, but imagine being a quarterback, putting a guy in motion from one boundary to the other boundary, the defense passing it off as a zone, and then playing man. You have to have good communication to do that because this guy's man is now this guy's man. So that changes the assignment for everybody, and they still do it really well. Great job. Backed up on comments per usual. Could Cohen interview? Oh, yeah, I read that one already. Read that one as well. 100 miles per hour. Channel member says, one time I suspended a team member. Just dude did the raise the roof with his arms and says, whoop, whoop. That's pretty good. It's hard to be mad at that. I'm not going to lie. I would have a hard time being upset with that. I really would. The staff is so young. I don't know how to feel. First time ever. It could take all of next year for them to get it together. Jens Underhill says, Jason, what do you think will make him different from Ryan Nielsen? I think that here are some things, and that's a really, really good question. I think that he's coached under a lot of good coaches. He's coached under Brian Flores. He's coached under Vic Fangio. And those are both two very different schemes. Like Brian Flores is like very aggressive, blitzes a lot. And Vic Fangio is more like a Gus Bradley play that bend but don't break shell. And Fangio's had a lot of success with that this season, but it can be multiple, I guess. And to be honest, I thought that's how Nielsen was going to be. And then he worked this year with Jeff Hafley, who was a really good coordinator. It was very adaptable, kind of that Bill Belichick, like we're going to play to their strengths rather than our weaknesses. I mean, I think he's going to use the linebackers more efficiently. I think he's going to play a little bit of a hybrid type defense. And again, I'm just guessing. Like, this is just what I've seen the guys that he works under do. I really don't know, but that's what I would guess. Cohen's offensive staff looks like a potential for a lot of newbies and no names. Like it or not, 2 years in the league is guaranteed learning curve. Excited, but we definitely need to buckle up. That's 1, 2, 3 him. That's very well said. I guess that's what I was trying to say. You said it better than I did. I would say just be ready for a learning curve. Now, if the offense can score points and the defense has a learning curve, we can live with that. But if the offense can't score and the defense has a learning curve, then we might be in some trouble. So that could be something to watch. Campanile. Okay. Rain says, hello. What's up, Pokey? Isaiah Jones says, press special. Nasir says, so bad the Jags play. I wonder how people would have reacted to Ben Johnson keeping press if we had got him in Jags. Is there an alternate reality where in the interview with Ben Johnson said, I like Press Taylor? And are any of these Jags fans who were clamoring for Ben Johnson changing their tune about either Ben Johnson or Press Taylor? Because you can't love Ben Johnson and hate Press Taylor, because apparently they feel like they can work together. Food for thought. 100 miles per hour responds and says, I worry too because it's apparently the players seen Nielsen as a dickhead, and this dude's kind of harder than Nielsen. Sea Breacher, Jimmer says, what's up, United? What's up, Sea Breacher? How's everything going in the southern part of Duval County-ish? Antonio Tolentino says, I made it. Duval Paul says, inject these film breakdowns into my veins. Robert Atcher says, ass whooping on the Jags. Stray Shoe says, was the Packers in zone these plays or man? So I should have done a better job pointing that out. I can't remember now, but that last play I just showed you, they were in man. I think the one before that, they were in zone. But don't hold me to that because I have a terrible memory. I had a rough college mid-20s. Bad decisions. So I feel like maybe my memory has been affected, but it's not gonna stop us. It's definitely not gonna stop us for 1 second at all. That just looks like a team that wants him more. Hopefully he unlocks Devin Lloyd. Nasir Premier, our old O-line coach, should be ashamed. Oh boy, Devin Lloyd versus Tank Dell again this season. There's a play where Campanile gets beat on like a disguised linebacker blitz, but I'm gonna save that because I think we might have a guest here. I think our guest is trying to get it figured out. He's a little slow, so we'll give him some time to figure it out. Sean Bernard says, with that Jags play, there was zero misdirection. Everyone was telegraphing where they were going. Hey guys, look, we are going to throw it over here. Good point. And speaking of telegraphing and knowing where they're going to go, if there's one person where we know where he's going to go, it's the guy who hardlined Trent Baalke his entire career riding the Jags. It's the guy who believed in Trent Baalke. None other than Trent.
Oh, the guy who believed in Trent Baalke, huh? All right. I appreciate
Is that not you?
intro.
That not you? No.
For sure. We'll go with that. Yeah, I'm a hardliner for Trent Baalke all day, every day.
Is it true that you once wrote a handwritten letter to Shad Khan laying out reasons why he should keep Trent Baalke? Is that true or not true?
I mean, that's the word on the street. I mean, I'm
Listen.
gonna let the people believe what they want to believe. I'm gonna play a politician on this one.
Oh. Speaking of politician, you've been watching any of the Senate confirmation hearings with any of these people?
Why would I do such a thing? I told you already, bro. If I want to be lied to, I'll stay at home. I'll tell my wife she can go shopping and then see how that goes.
Well, I guess that's the difference between you and me is I guess I get a weird sense of entertainment out of those for some reason. I don't know.
Nah, man. I'm not politicked out because you know me. I'm too into it to be ever politicked out. But at the same time, I'm not asking to be lied to. I mean, that's why everybody's lying, and it's all about optics. And unfortunately, yeah, I'm just not. I'm not into that right now. Let's focus on Jaguars because that's where I'm. That's a positive. I can say that as a positive thing these days. That's crazy, right? Hey, let's focus on the Jaguars and let's not be like, oh wait, are you sure you're okay? It's a good thing right now, man. Take it in.
You know, it's funny. This has nothing to do with the Jags, and I don't care because whatever, don't care. On Club Jaguar, which we did last night on UCF Jaguars channel, I always once per show try to randomly interject a political comment just to see both of their faces just drop and just like panic in the moment. That brings me so much joy. Like do I have a problem, Travis? Do I have a problem?
Man.
What do you think?
No, man, you are the only one who don't got a problem. Everybody else, no, seriously, I'm dead serious when I say this. Everybody else are the problem. If we have a wild boy, we got no matter how you view him, no matter what side of the line you fall on politically, you can admit we got a wild boy in the office right
Would
now.
you
Like,
classify it as a
this is gonna be crazy.
machine gun Kelly wild boy? Is that how you classify it?
Hey man, I classify it like Andrew Schultz classifies it when he says it's a wild boy. Like if you know Andrew Schultz, comedian, is just
Of course.
fragrant too. Yeah, those are my guys. Like that kind of wild boy. So I am here for all the laughs that will come along with the chaos that is going to be it, and I acknowledge that it is chaos. But I just want to acknowledge it. You got to be able to find a way to laugh through good times and bad, and whatever line of you fall on right now with this. What's going on? You got to find the laughs, bro. And they are there. So that's where I'm at right now.
And I'll throw a little tidbit in, and then we'll go back to Jags. But what some people, because I'm very politically active, I studied politics in college. Okay. What people don't seem to realize is like your local elections and politicians impact your life a lot more than the federal government. And people get so bent out of shape about these federal government positions that barely trickle down and affect you. And they don't even vote in local elections who directly affect you. That's always blown my mind. It's always blown my mind, but that's just so
crazy. I'm saying, yeah, judges, local sheriffs. I mean, that's going to impact your life way more than a president's ever going to elect it. I mean, the election's ever going to impact it, man. So I'm here with you.
All right, so Travis, you're here. We're here to talk Jags. If you don't know Travis, I already preemptively planned for this, and I have all his credentials in the video description. So go follow Travis. I'm sure you all already do. I love just being on Twitter during the day because it turns into just Travis and me just going back and forth, and it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. So make sure to get in there and follow everything that Travis does. He does a great job writing. Like he actually works and does a good job. So I have the utmost admiration for Travis. Travis, we've learned on this show, apparently the pronunciation is Anthony Campanile.
Okay.
What are your initial thoughts? As a former defensive back, you played the game at a high level. You understand the game better than a lot of people. What are your thoughts, and what are you expecting from him as a defensive coordinator?
That's a wonderful question because honestly, I have no idea. And I'm being real. I'm going to be real about it. Like, I'm making a lot of assumptions that it's going to be like what they run in Green Bay. But I'm open to acknowledge that that is a full assumption because we are talking about someone who only had the only coordinator experience we show was the co-defensive coordinatorship at Boston College, right? So that's all we know. We don't know if he's running something that someone else is putting, in front of him, saying this is our scheme, and however you want to coach it, you're going to have to coach it in that way, or this is what his preference is. Now we're going to kind of have to find that out. So if we're going to go from Green Bay specifically, all right, cool. Then we're going to have a 4-man front. All right, we're going to do a lot of too high, but we're probably going to be very middle of the pack in almost every coverage that you run. In like a lot of ways, like I was looking at this up earlier today, they're middle of the pack in cover one, like legitimately 16% all throughout last season. Top of the league in cover two, not very different than the Jaguars, who are actually first in the league. It's a weird little thing, but first in the league is really only 26%, so that's not saying much. And then after that, you're middle of the league in cover three, middle of the league in cover four. Then let's say bottom third of the league in cover six. That's it. Just a good secondary, but they're very versatile. They're doing a lot of stuff as far as that's concerned. So it's not like Gus Bradley just running out cover three every play, and they're not Ryan Nielsen just playing cover one every play. So Shad Khan said, hey, we're some of the most predictable offense and defenses in the NFL. And he was right when he said that Trent Baalke-Fed line that he had. But this is the exact opposite of that. So if you trust that Jacksonville would do what Green Bay did, get ready, man. They will be a versatile bunch that you won't know what they're playing. To your earlier clip that you showed, it looks like they're playing zone. They actually end up playing man. That's the kind of stuff that you might be able to see in this Campanile defense. So it should be cool if that is the case.
I got a question for you. This is maybe a deep question for you. What's the, I'll say, discrepancy? What's the difference between a really good defensive play caller with a bad unit on defense and a safe defensive play caller with a really good defensive unit? Like, where do you put the value? Do you put obviously the value is in the players.
Yeah.
But let's be realistic with the Jaguars' current defense. Not a lot of all-stars. How much realistically can Campanile do with this defensive unit as it stands right now?
Oh, as it stands, I mean, it's gonna still that's a hard one, man. Because as it stands right now, you still got the holes, and the holes are the holes. Like the holes that are there, the other side is paid to find those and to identify them on film. And as it currently stands, we have a whole season of film to say, hey, chalkboard, circle, that's going to be your guy for 4 plays in this game. We're going to identify him and you're going to attack him. That's a problem at the second cornerback spot as it stands, at least. And that's a problem at least, potentially the safety spot, depending on how you feel about Andre Cisco.
Both safety spots. Let's be real.
I say it depends on if we're going to be a heavy man team, heavy zone team, veritable like that's arguable. At least I can acknowledge that, because I honestly feel fine with goodness gracious, with Darnell Savage at us more of a strong safety role, maybe plays box safety and letting someone else play free. I'm fine with that personally. If you're talking about someone who's going to play just middle of the pack man defense, that's just my opinion.
The problem is, disagree. I don't mean to cut you off. I just want you to elaborate on your point. Is with the predominance of nickel, Darnell Savage is going to be in the box a lot, and then there's going to be 2 safeties behind him. So there's still that huge gap of that strong safety in coverage with Darnell Savage that you're comfortable with in the box. So however you want to slice it and dice it, both safety positions are a huge liability.
I guess you lost me on that one, if I'm honest, because I think Jarian's still going to be in the slot. I just think we don't know who the other corner is going to be. So if you have just Savage playing the strong safety role, then if you get yourself a good free, depending on if you're playing cover 2, depending on if you're playing cover 3, however you're playing that, I think he's a fine man defensive back, covering the tight ends, covering the slot receiver, etc. In those isolated situations, that 20% of the time that you're going to run it. Cool. I don't think he's a liability in that way. I think we just I don't want to go overboard with what we saw last season on him, because everyone in that secondary looked bad. everyone in the linebacker group looked bad. So that's the conversation and the continue with the alignment through those two guys was already a problem.
I think you're right. But my initial point, what I'm trying to make, I still think I'm right. And here, let me explain. You said that you're okay with Darnell Savage as that man coverage guy, whether it's a tight end, a running back out of the backfield, a slot receiver. I am not okay with Darnell Savage in that spot. I'm okay with Darnell Savage playing in the box against the run. I'm okay with that. But in any type of coverage situation, I am not comfortable with Savage in the box as a man defensive back. So you're telling me you're okay with him and Jarian Jones and Andre Sisco and Tyson Campbell and then another corner we add via free agency or draft? You're okay with that 5?
I'm okay with us adding a corner via free agency.
So if we add one
as far as the outside corner. And
I feel like a senator questioning you on your position in the government. I have to cut you off. You're okay with adding one corner and then safety, that being our 5 defensive backs?
You're missing the second part. One corner, one safety. I think we need a better safety than we have right now at Cisco. Unless you believe in him, I understand the argument to be made there, but I'm not there right now. And another outside corner. I think we can absolutely work with that as long as we get some pressure as far as the D-line is concerned.
I'd agree with that.
And don't play all man coverage, 70% of snaps. That's beneficial.
I love man coverage. All right.
I love man coverage, but I don't love man coverage 70% of the snaps if you don't got the dogs to run it.
Listen, I want to get to some film, and there's 700 people. There's 700 people here watching, and they want to watch film. But I gotta ask you this. I gotta ask you this. If you're a D coordinator, what's your style of coverage? Like, what are you predominantly running?
I'm okay being versatile. Like so if you're saying predominantly, cool. I mean, if you want to talk about more first down scenarios.
No.
I'm fine with a basic cover 3 or a basic cover 4. Like I prefer cover 4, but if you're a cover 3 guy, I don't judge you, like whatever. But if you're talking money downs, I need to play some man. I don't need to see no off man. I need to see some press man coverage. My guy's gonna beat your guys. That's what it's gonna be. Like, I feel comfortable in saying that, because if you can't play man, you're probably gonna have some troubles eventually. They're gonna find those holes.
I would do a hybrid of Gus Bradley and Ryan Nielsen. And I know that's like the worst thing to possibly say.
Because they're 2 extremes. Oh, man.
What I would do is I would run Gus Bradley's cover 3 and just randomly throw a cover 1 on you. And I know the pre-snap motion will give my defense away. I get that. But here's where I'm different. I would throw in my 2 high look with cover 2, cover 4, and mix in a cover 6. I know you're a cover 6 guy. But is it too much on these DBs to teach them cover 1, cover 3, cover 2, cover 4, cover 6, and be good at it? Like, I know they all know the concepts. Is it too much to be good at all of that?
No, it's not too much. It's just a skill set conversation. So it's not the learning part. Let me say that. Right. And I don't think I think that from all of these guys. Right. These are NFL caliber players. They know this. They've been playing this since they were in high school. I mean, if you've coached or if you've been around the high school game these days, you know how well these kids know this stuff. Right. So this isn't that. This is simply a skill set conversation where there are some guys who are just really dang good. And I had this conversation with John Shipley, Jaguars on that side, during one of the Jaguars games this past season, because he was like talking about one of the corners in the locker room and how it may or may not work out. And I'm like, dude, you don't understand. I was a man corner guy. I'm good at it. And then we got another coach, and it was all zone defense, and I was bad at it. And it's not necessarily learning. It's sometimes you're just better at one thing, and you're not as versatile as far as your skill set is concerned. That's really what it comes down to. When I say, like, I felt bad for Ryan Nielsen in some ways, it's not his defense that it sucks. It's just his defense is not good for these guys specifically. It's a personnel conversation. So because of that, it's like, if you have the guys who are able to be good in both, good to go. Like, that's Tyson Campbell. When he's healthy.
That's Jalen Ramsey. That's Jalen Ramsey. It's not Tyson Campbell.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know
Campbell-
I'm right.
Cam,
you know
I know
I'm
you're
right.
right. No, but Jalen's another level. That doesn't mean
Right,
that
that's
Tyson
true.
Campbell is not
true.
above average corner in both heavy zone or heavy man.
Yeah.
I think he's going to hold his own and be just fine with you plug and play him in either one of those.
Yeah.
That's not Darby. Darby's all man, and even then he fell off with man this past season. So I didn't know what to put on it. But
The problem with
nevertheless,
Tyson
my whole point was it's a skill set conversation. If you find the right guy who can play both, maybe like a Will Johnson, hey man, have fun. Like you got toys, have fun.
The problem with Tyson Campbell is he spends more time in the athletic training room than he does the film room.
I know. And I was
That's
so
the
mad.
problem with Tyson
And I was
Campbell.
so mad when they
That's
paid
the
him.
problem with Tyson Campbell. My boy's in there with the athletic trainers more than he is with the DB's coach. That's the problem. So
I said it I said it to T Wig on when he came onto our Duval Dive episode. He was like, hey, who should they extend first? And I'm like, I know they're gonna do Tyson, but I really think they should hold off because man, he got to show me. And then he immediately gets injured in training camp, and then he's injured through the season. And I'm like, oh, bro, I want him to. I'm happy he got paid. I just want to see it.
all right, I'm a fly. Okay, I swear we have film. Okay, I swear. Listen.
Oh yeah, let's go, man. Let's
If you're
go.
new
Let's
here,
go.
I'm sorry. This is how these shows go, but we're not going to change who we are. You know why? Because not only are we not obligated by any sponsors, I legitimately don't care, to be honest. So I'm going to fly through some comments. I'm going to fly through some comments real quick, and then we're going to get some film. We're going to get Travis's thoughts. And my folders, this is my folders are named. Just to be, Travis, for you to be able to wrap your minds around this. This is a very complex names of folders. One of them is labeled Blitz. One of them is labeled Stop Run. So wrap your mind around that.
Is that the passing package? All right, cool.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Here's some quick comments here. If I missed your comment, I'm sorry, but just it is what it is. Preston Tim says, I like a 4-man front with Trayvon, but Josh had his best year in a 3-man front. If we have off-ball linebackers for 3-4, so here's something that's actually interesting, and I'll show you on some film coming up. The Packers, Jeff Hartley, not Campanile, ran a lot of stand-up outside 9 technique outside linebacker type rusher. So it was still the even man front, but they would have that stand-up outside linebacker. And let me pull up I have his name right here. It was Rashawn Gary was obviously really good in their defense, but it was Kenny Clark, Brenton Cox Jr. was really good in this defense toward the end of the year. Okay.
No, we've always had the linebackers for a 3-4 defense, but we've never had the nose tackle, and that's been from date. That's always been from Jump Street. Like if you're gonna do it, you gotta have a guy.
Yeah, I'll leave that one alone. Stray Studio says, way better safeties out there. I like Cisco more than Savage. No way. It was just extra weight for Cisco. His mentality. Yeah, he didn't know where he was at on the field. Only downside of Cisco is speed, and discipline, and eyes, and technique, and coverage, and run stopping.
I'm big on eyes, bro.
Yeah, and shedding blocks, and play recognition, and communication, and ball skills, and
wait. Ball skills. I'll give Cisco credit for the most part. He dropped like 2, I think, this season, but he's generally good on ball skills. Everything else I'll give you though. So you got like 9 negatives, and I got like 1 positive.
That's not enough for me to argue. I could, but that's not a point that I am willing to argue right now. But I could, but I'll concede that point to you. I will. Cisco needs to lose some pounds. Bro's looking like a linebacker. Quay Walker's walking around at 6'4", 250, playing outside linebacker, or playing legitimately an outside linebacker, not an edge. So I'm not buying this weight thing. You're either a ball player or you're not. I'm sorry. Kyle Hamilton's walking around at 240 and one of the best safeties in the league. So I also mean play recognition. Yep. Jags should try to trade up for Travis Hunter. Yeah, I don't know. I'm always weary of people named Travis. They're
makes sense.
Yeah.
They,
I'm always weary.
they always trick you to get that money. I understand.
They do. You can't trust him. It wasn't just weight; it was fluff weight because wide receiver still breaking his ankles. Stray says same with Allen. Get back to speed rushing. Tyson regular. Hamstrings
Y'all
rated
wrong, man.
tofu. That was a good one. Eventually, DCs are going to start rolling coverages when there's some motion. Sometimes it's too much of an offensive advantage to not adapt to sooner or later.
Yeah, if you're flexible like that, hopefully, if you are one of those DCs.
Would you rather let Tyson Campbell walk? That's not an option right now. It's not.
Yeah, that's not an option.
Not, unfortunately. But he's asking retroactively. Actually, that's actually a good question.
Wait, so you're saying if you had the option to assign someone else and let him walk, or just extend him?
I get what he's.
Ooh, that was never an option as far as that. It was just going to be putting him on that, like letting him play on that last season, on the contract that he still would have been under.
Right.
I'm just saying I'm not extending him early. That's all.
Right, because he says he didn't have a 5th-year option, but he would have this last year.
Right.
So you could have let him play it out, and you could have signed him this offseason for a fraction of the price.
Bingo. Or at least made him have some kind of a prove-it situation, something, especially after an injury season the injury season and the bad season that they had, and there's a new staff and everything else. He would have probably been. I know it's retroactive, and I know this is what if, but that's more likely than not how it would have gone.
Yep. All right, let's get to some film. How do you feel about that, Travis?
Man,
Feeling good about some film?
I'm always good about film.
I know you are. That's why I like you. All right. This is the package. We'll call it. You want to do the blitz folder or the stop run folder? I'll let you pick.
Stop run. Let's start with
right.
that. Blitz is fun. Let's end with that.
All right. Sounds good. Let's start with this one. We'll just go in chronological order of my folder here. This is against the Bears. The Bears. So again, this is what I was talking about. This is that 9 technique I was talking about with the stand-up 9 technique out here.
Yeah.
My drawing pen is hold please. Let me get this going again here real quick. Don't mind me.
Nice Jaguars background. Nothing wrong with that.
Jaguars United doesn't, I'm a full timer now, but you know how it is.
I'm a full timer now. Yeah, I've been waiting for this. I'm very happy to see that you are now more than what Tuesdays and Fridays. Yeah.
And to be honest, and I hate to be this guy, I've been bored. So
good.
Yeah,
I wish I could more often.
I wish I could say there was this deep intrinsic motivation to like start talking about the Jags. I've been bored. So
all right, so you guys hear that? You got to stop sending Jason DMs and stop tweeting him and allow him to be bored more often, and he'll give y'all all the great shows. That's what's happening.
Now there's certain people I will accept DMs from, but we're not gonna get into that in this show. That's maybe a different conversation. But anyways, we have again a 9 technique stand up D end. So this is whoever talked about Josh Allen being better in that 3-4. You could put him in that position right here.
Okay, so I can't see your screen right now.
You know why?
I just wanted you to know that.
You know why? Because nobody can. You could put Josh Allen in this 3-4 stand up right here. Like it's still an even front. You still have your 4 down linemen, but you could put him in this stand up 9 technique. Just for those that are new, the 9 technique is imagine an imaginary tight end standing here. He's on the outside shoulder of him. So we call it the 9 technique. You could put Josh Allen here, Trevon here, more natural position. Okay. You have what looks like a walked down safety and 2 linebackers. The Bears are in a 11 gun. Little pre-snap motion. So this is obviously man because this DB is going with him. I mean, this is a shade. This is a shade. This is a Jesus. What I don't know what you want to call this. This would be 5 4-eye, 5, however you want to call it.
Yeah.
I mean, this would be a 5. This would be a 4-eye, I guess. This is why I don't like to get into the minutia of the details, because it's like
Yeah.
different.
I mean, I'm a DB guy. I don't even deal with the fronts. I'm like, all right, cool.
The problem is that different coaches call it different things. I mean, I guess you could call it an underfront because the nose is like shaded to the strong side. But again, I'm not happy with this pencil thing right now. Okay, that's better. Okay, that's better. All right, so let's take a look here. Linebackers coach, baby.
Nice shed.
Linebackers coach.
Ground.
Linebacker. That's Foyer. That's Foyer right there.
Untouched.
And again, this is set up by the defense. You have to kick out and block him. You have to block him. You have to double the nose. You have to double the big end. Oh, the center. Oh, geez.
That's a hell of a play.
I guess they did show blitz maybe here. So he kicked, he blocked, he doubled. Maybe just bad blocking. What do you think?
I think that was a hell of a swim move by whoever this left tackle is, and gets both of those guys on the ground, and that allows his linebacker to come in free, untouched.
But why is the center double teaming Rashawn Gary?
He's trying to scrape up to the linebacker, I thought.
No, but he
just falls, right? Doesn't he just fall?
That's a 2.5 gap scrape, though. I mean, that's a tough ask right there.
No. You're right. I'm looking at the wrong guy. I'm looking at the center. He goes over to Gary, and this 79 just falls. I thought that's who was supposed to try to scrape up to.
Maybe you're right.
But he's
a block. Yeah, maybe you're right. Yeah. Either way, good linebacker play, which we'll take when we hire linebackers coach. Yeah, you're right. Way to identify that, Travis. I wasn't even looking that way.
Yeah, he's supposed to get a right hand on the D tackle and then scrape up to the linebacker, but he's eating dirt. Yeah, that swim move kills both of them. Kills the right guard and the tackle.
I mean, look at this pre-snap alignment though. That's what makes it hard. I mean, he's shaded there. Oh, yep. Tripped his own guy. Let's go to another one here. Here's against the Saints. You'll see a lot of this. You'll see a lot of I mean, this is your base because you got 3 linebackers, 4 D linemen. This is your base set. This is a two tight end set. Or is this a tackle over? This is something. It's a heavy package. So they have their base set in. 5 guys line of scrimmage. Ace personnel for the offense.
2 tight ends. Safety looks like he was going to be blitzing anyways.
Ooh, look at that pre-snap movement. Look at this. And this is Campanile's job, right? Run game coordinator, linebackers coach. Watch this pre-snap.
Good communication.
That was my first folder, was good communication. That's my biggest thing about him, is that he has all his guys on the same page.
And brings him down.
Goodness, just hit this gap.
Yeah, but he just got the ball. Yeah. Oh. By the time he gets the ball, the lane's closed.
Yeah, you're right. Maybe don't toss it, Press Taylor.
Yeah. If it's an outside zone, yeah, it'd been fine. It's straight downhill, but it's not designed that way. So sometimes it's better to be lucky than good.
Sometimes it's rock, paper, scissors. That's what I always say.
Yeah.
But again, linebacker making the play. Linebacker here. Pre-snap alignments at the hash makes the play here.
So, 95.
Oh, just hit it right there. Good Lord. Just hit it there and get what you can get.
Yeah,
Put your
but
foot in the
nevertheless,
dirt and get what you can get.
nah, man. As much as I agree with you, nobody's on 56.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. You're right. You're right. All right, here's against the Lions. Admittedly, the Lions torched them on the ground, but I was able to cherry pick this one play. I'm honest, Travis. I'm honest.
I'm more interested in how they torched him because now I'm like, dang it, I don't remember watching this game, which is
It
crazy
wasn't
to
on
me.
and here's why I didn't bring it up. It wasn't on the play design. It was just on the players, just missing tackles, not being able to tackle. Yeah, Jahmyr Gibbs.
And that was my question. Yeah,
Yeah.
I wanted to know if it was something that they out schemed him, Ben Johnson, mad scientist in the lab,
No.
or was it?
Yeah,
okay.
it was just different personnel. And again, here you see the stand up and the 9 technique. Maybe you call this a 7. Depends on what coach you ask. But I mean, this is aggressive. This is aggressive cover 1. I mean, maybe they pattern match this, but I still call this cover 1. But
well, let's take a look. Looks like it was going to, well, I say it looks like it, and that's the difference of one step.
Again, as soon as Laporta comes in motion to the end line, look what the defense does. Like they're always on the same page.
Yeah.
Whether it's the D line or the linebackers, they're always on the same page. I remember this play. Yeah, it's just he's just a dog there at the end right there. 90. 90 just a dog.
All right.
Quay Walker gets involved. Look at this communication. Does this team look familiar at all? I'm not sure. Do you recognize this team?
They look like, I don't know. I can't tell. Is that the Carolina Panthers?
Yeah, it is the Panthers.
Yeah, that's that's
Panthers. Yep. Look at this though. Like that.
Hey.
And again, and this is what the defense is this is what Halfley was known for, was he didn't like blitz a lot from the linebackers, but he showed blitz a lot. So
their protections.
So you see these two like linebackers in this like almost a double A mug right here, and they're like, okay, we're in trouble right here. And then I believe I can't exactly remember, but I believe they both bail.
Right. At that point, it's all just to make the offensive lineman squeeze.
Yeah.
Screw up the protections.
And Trevor doesn't know what's going on. He said, I just saw 2 linebackers in the A gap.
I mean, honestly, the Jaguars do a solid job with their protection. It's just balls not out, and no one's really open early.
I was about to say, because nobody's open.
Yeah, but honestly, the protection's not dreadful.
Well, it better not be. It's 4v5.
I mean, it's still Jaguars football, bro.
Not open, not open, not open, not open. That's okay. Let's go a second longer. Now he's in trouble.
Yeah.
Not open, not open, not open. Your running backs did the same plane as the quarterback. Golly, just watching this game just made me realize how bad our offense was. No one's open. Trevor sucks. Trevor sucks. He can't do anything.
Stop the count. I'm going to clip you right there. I'm going to clip you right there and play it like that Duval.
Trevor's terrible. Let's move on to the next play. I can't watch this anymore. Saints again.
Oh, yeah. Someone asked how much did we blitz last year? In the comments. Just because that question came up, I figured I would give that answer because our boy Dan Griffin is always sharing awesome information. If you follow him on Twitter.
To be fair, Timmy's
yeah,
a troll. Timmy's a troll. A good troll.
I
You
like
know those people in your. I think I'm maybe this to you. The good troll in your life. Maybe
Yeah.
I'm that to you, but that's what Timmy is. So, but go ahead and answer. Sorry.
The Jaguars were last in the league as far as their blitz percentage, 14% last year. Green Bay was 19.2%, but at least that was in the bottom, third of the league. It's not bottom of the league. So again, like you said earlier, they don't blitz a lot. They disguise their coverages a lot. And that still takes the same. It does the same purpose. If you can get a guy coming in free, it serves the same purpose as a blitz.
What's crazy is like they didn't even disguise their coverages as much as they disguised what their linebackers were doing. That's what I walked away from impressed about. Because like their back 4 or 5 told you what they were doing, but their linebackers were the ones that did the disguising, which I found appropriate for us hiring the linebackers coach.
Right. I thought it was real interesting. The Jaguars have we've done the guy who seemed to be, primarily into the defensive front and Ryan Nielsen. We've done the guy who's primarily into the defensive secondary and Caldwell and Mike Caldwell. Now we have an option to middle linebacker, the linebacker guy. Let's see if we can tie the alignment up front and behind together. Let's see how that works.
I got a question for you. I talked about this before you came on. You being late.
Okay. No, I'm right on time, bro. You were early.
Are you worried about the lack of experience on this staff? That's the question. There's no more to it.
I have my feelings. But I'll acknowledge, between the fact that you're more than likely going to have a rookie, you will have a rookie head coach. You will have a rookie defensive coordinator, as far as in the NFL, at least. You will likely have a first-year general manager, more likely than not. And you're probably going to have, from that point, you're downstream. You kind of have a first-year everything other than maybe a Heath Farwell. So that's problematic for sure. But we've seen it work. Kyle Shanahan. We've seen examples of it working as far as you have downstream. You have a lot of guys who just don't have the experience, but it still works out. You've seen it work out with someone like Sean McVay, but that's only after his rookie season because he still had Wade Phillips. Could it work? Sure. Do I have concerns? Yes, and it's mostly on the defensive side for me personally.
I think what the maybe glimmer of hope is that anytime it has worked, it's been in the McVay tree. Because even Shanahan, McVay, Kevin O'Connell, these guys are the ones that make it work.
But Kevin O'Connell got Brian Flores.
But they
former head coach and a great defensive coordinator.
That's a good point. But I think everyone would agree that the offense wasn't lacking. I mean, your point still remains as far as there was a senior guy on staff who had done it. But the offense
was lacking. That offense was lacking a little bit in his first season because I honestly didn't even know it was lacking a little bit in his first season until I ran over random articles looking up Liam Cohen stuff.
Yeah,
a month ago, and I'm like, oh, people were actually talking about taking the play call away from him. That was a thing, first month of the season. So apparently, the defense kind of held them in it for those early weeks to kind of figure it out. So it is beneficial if we can have a dominant defense. But they're going to be figuring things out at the same time as the offense. That's going to be a storyline. I can't BS you about that.
How do you think the Jags fans will react if there's a learning curve the first 6 weeks of the season?
Man, we Jaguar fans, bro. We used to this. We knew what it was going to be like last year. They're going to freak out. They freaked out in training camp when Brian Thomas Jr. wasn't scoring touchdowns every week because it was focusing on goal line drills, and then all they needed was that 1 week where he's burns 2 Tampa Bay Buccaneers for deep touchdowns, and everybody just forgets whatever happens. They'll be all right. They will be okay. The fans gonna fan.
Let me put my Senate confirmation hat on for a second.
Cool.
Will you commit to telling Jags fans to remain calm when through the first 6 seasons this team does not look good?
Absolutely, I will commit to that. I committed to the run game issues last year when Mitch Morris in the offseason said, hey, we will need at least the first month of the season to kind of get our run game fits right. And I believed him. I took him at his word. If he's saying, hey, man, this is a veteran group that hasn't played much together, we'll need this amount of time. Every week when they were struggling, I kept saying, hey, no, I'm not going to freak out until week 4, week 5. Then they had a few good weeks of running, and I'm like, all right, there it is. And then they kind of went back down. And I'm like, oh, I guess they still aren't good. But at least I'm consistent on this. I'm going to give them those early few weeks to kind of figure it out.
I know you are. I just wanted to put it out in the Jag sphere. Chat, but I'll let Travis answer this. Would you prefer a 3-4 or 4-3 scheme? And don't say it's depending on who you have. That's the easy answer. The question is, if you were building a defense and could draft and get the players you wanted, which one would you pick to build?
Probably 4-3. And that's mainly just because I want my guys always rushing who I'm drafting to rush as far as those two edges. That's the main purpose.
They can't rush from a 3-4?
They can rush from a 3-4, but ever so often you can be schemed into having to put those guys into coverage.
So
I don't want you dictating to me what my guys are doing. I drafted these guys to rush. I want them rushing 90% of snaps.
It's a good answer. Playing devil's advocate, would you prefer a rusher who could rush from the stand-up 9-7 technique outside the tackle? Or is your defense better suited by having a pass rusher who could rush from those positions, but also put his hand in the dirt from inside shoulder to tackle or outside shoulder to the guard? Are you better suited having that type of player so that you can have them rush 90% of the time, but they can rush from any position?
That makes it very interesting. Honestly, the 3-4, like the Ravens and their versatility, allow a lot of options, and that's a problem for offenses because they have to react to the defense and their protections and everything else and their communication. So it's beneficial for sure. I mostly have played in 4-3 defenses. It could be just simply as I'm just comfortable with it, and that's kind of what that is. Or it could be something where I just feel like I don't want to be dictated to. It could be just a control thing. I don't know.
That's a good answer. I'm not going to lie. That's a good answer, especially with the comfortability thing, because I can't debate that. But here's a counterpoint I will present to you. If you do run the 3-4, the options you do have is a 3-3 stack, which allows you to, if you do have 3 linebackers, especially ones that can blitz, now you're creating more versatility because you can have 3 linebackers on the field, 3 D linemen on the field, and 5 defensive backs you trust to cover. I understand what I'm presenting to you is a perfect world defense. I get that. I'm not oblivious to that fact. But the question is, if you're building a defense, I'm building one that could be a perfect world defense. And if I'm drafting and I'm signing free agents, I'm going to have players at every spot that can do everything. So in my perfect world, I'm running a 3-4 so that I can move that outside edge rusher inside. I can have that linebacker cover or blitz, and I can have that nickel corner or outside corner even blitz and you not know it. I think the 3-4 gives you more versatility by nature, and that would just be what I would say.
I agree. There is no dispute on my end as far as the 3-4 being more versatile, but at the same time, if you're getting into passing situations, it won't matter. I can run a 3-3. I can run a 3-3-5 or 4-2-5 or anything else. If you're specifically putting me into passing downs, third down scenarios, things of that nature, and I can run it with smaller guys. I can put four defensive ends on the field if I feel like it. It won't make a difference at that point.
And again, not to get too deep into this because I want to talk more about this, but you could do more with your starting 11, I feel like, in the 3-4, because what you're talking about is bringing in sub packages. So now you have to have.
You trying to win this argument so much, and I already acknowledged this point, and you hammering it home like we are in a Senate confirmation
in your
hearing.
scenario, you have to have sub linebackers, you have to have sub DBs. In my scenario, my 11 run my 11. So I think that gives me the advantage because my 11 run it any way they want. In your scenario, you got to have a sub linebacker who can cover.
Mhm.
You got to have a sub corner who can blitz. Not mine. In mine, my 11 do my 11.
All right, but then run your 3-4. I'm gonna run my 4-3. But as soon as your 3-4 nose tackle gets injured, good luck. I got options. I got options at D tackle.
That's my secret. In my scenario, no one's injured, so that's my
all right.
advantage.
Cool.
That's
cool,
my
cool.
advantage. We got a 4-3. We got a 4-3. They seem to agree with you here. Jason, you're gonna have to go find that Don Bosco prep Campanile all 22. I need to watch that. I haven't seen any of that. Travis knows what's up. Got to clip him out of context.
Nitro got it.
Nitro clipped me out of context, and
that's
okay.
a good callback.
The thing is that I can handle it. Like as the young kids say, I can take the smoke. I really can. I things roll off me a lot easier than they should. That's hurtful. I don't know what he's referring to, but good, Timmy. I'm glad you're.
You said he's a troll, and he's saying it's hurtful.
Good. I'm glad Timmy's feeling some emotions. He needs to feel some emotions. Defense can't really get worse, in my opinion. Thought Caldwell was a linebackers coach in Tampa Bay. He was. I'm a little worried, but are you going to be worse than last year?
Are you going to be worse than?
Are the Jags going to be worse than last year?
I'm like, I mean, I'm fine. The Jaguars. I don't think it can get worse as far as the I say that, but I'm pretending I'm not a Jags fan. Lord Jesus.
You are a Jags fan.
Every time I say that, well, I say I was about to say the words out of my mouth, and I had to catch myself when I said, "Oh, it can't get worse." No, Travis, why do you do that to yourself? As soon as a Jaguar fan says it can't get worse, it always gets worse. So I'm not going to say that. I don't believe the Jacksonville Jaguars defense statistically could realistically get worse if you're investing anything into those players and actually trying to give them the tools to work with. All those caveats I'll put around that.
Not to say there's a lot of caveats there, but that's okay.
But you have to believe these guys in their first year are not going to just let them run it back with a Band-Aid at one cornerback position, which we knew was a Band-Aid in training camp.
Yeah,
everybody was saying you can't have Ronald Darby as your corner, and then we ran down Ronald Darby as your corner, and then we saw it was a problem like early in the season that Ronald Darby was the corner. Well, that was going to happen.
All right. Well, here's my plan. I'm going to try to fly through these next 4 plays in the next 7 minutes because,
oh Lord,
yeah, because admittedly, I have to take the longest piss of all time. So I'm gonna
congratulations.
I'm gonna fly through these 4 clips. We're gonna end this show at 1:30, and then we're gonna call it. All right. But here's the blitz. Here's the blitz folder. All right. Here's the blitz folder. This is against the Lions. I'll rewind it. I know it was pre-snap motion. Again, they communicate the responsibilities. Great job. No one open.
Nice.
They drop into a zone here, it looks like, right?
Yeah, it looks like cover 2.
Cover 2 invert?
I'm trying to figure out what it looks like an inverted cover 2.
Yeah. All right. Good job. Good call. Good play call. Good play. Rock, paper, scissors. Sometimes you call the right play. No one open.
Cover 2 smoke. You drop the D in.
This is why I clipped it.
Yep. Nice.
Let's watch that. Let's watch that. That's what I want from my defense. And that's a dropping D tackle, by the way, just so everybody knows.
Oh, wait, was he a tackle? I thought that was the edge. No, yeah, you're right. I love that celebration.
Me too. Me too. I'm here for it. I'm here for it. Here's a disguised blitz. Oh, who is this team? Is this
those damn Panthers again?
Is this the Orlando Solar Bears? I don't know what's going on here.
Oh, look at this. A nice little kitty logo. Nice.
Trips right bunch. Okay, this actually is not a good play. This is not a good play. I think they drop 55 to like deep flats. I think.
I'm trying to figure out.
Oh no,
secondary. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what they're doing with the secondary.
No, I think it was a cover one. It was a one high, and they just ran an out route. But watch this: linebacker over the center is going to drop to the deep out.
You got the corner. You got the safety coming up in the flats. You got a bust. What was that? I'm still not sure what the coverage was. I'm like, wait, what is the corner?
Yeah, it was a cover 3 where it looks like the corner bit on the flat.
That's maybe
cover 3, corner bit on the flat, left open the and again, this is the end of the half, so I mean, inexcusable.
Yeah, because I'm trying to figure out why is his first 3-4 steps up, and then he takes the outside, which is fine, but you wouldn't break on your back pedal out of a bunch set. I don't get that at all. Is that
the good news is that Anthony Campanile is not the DB's coach because this is poor coverage from this corner.
Yeah, I don't know what it was.
Because like you had help. It's not like you had to pick at the high-low concept. It's not like you had to like guess. You had a guy helping.
And Nasir's saying quarters, and I'm like, I don't think that's quarters. But
no, not quarters. I was saying it's cover 3, and I think 21 bit on the flat.
I'm like, yeah, I don't think that's quarters unless we got multiple people busting that coverage.
No, this is a one high. I mean, it's hard to say if it's 1 or 3, but he's obviously playing deep thirds or has no responsibility. Yeah, he has help for the. I don't know.
Bingo. Bingo. He obviously have a guy under. He has the guy underneath, so you know it's not a cover 6 kind of scenario. So you're kind of no. This is probably cover 3 or something odd. Like I don't know what else it would be, but so you're probably right. It's got to be 21. Sorry, it's got to be cover 3.
That's what I'm thinking.
It's the corner,
and 21 just like does not do his job.
Maybe trying to jump the shorter route for whatever reason.
That's exactly what I thought. It's exactly what I thought. Here's a cool blitz against the Bears. You ready for this? Look at this pre-snap alignment. Outside shoulder of the tackle. 9 technique. A linebacker over the guard, and then another 9 technique.
Oof.
Now, I think this is
nobody in the middle.
I think this is an obvious passing down. Like this has to be an obvious passing down because you don't leave this open if it's not an obvious passing down. And like he's even set up for like pass block. So like this is an obvious passing down. But I still respect the blitz. Watch the blitz here.
I hope somebody's coming inside. Or stunning inside or something.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah. Watch from the end zone. I mean, look at this. I mean, it's obvious passing down because you just check to even a quarterback run if you see this. I mean, look at this. This is an obvious passing down. You do not do this if you think they're going to run the ball.
I mean, maybe the Jaguars would, but
that's true. But then the stunt actually comes from, I think he's the one that stunts. Yeah.
Yeah. And gets home.
Yeah.
All the attention on the left.
Yeah. And Quay Walker, your true outside linebacker is the one that creates all the collapse of the linemen. Linebackers coach.
That's not bad. That's a nice way to draw it up, especially knowing that their protections are going to be running back on linebacker probably.
Last one, 49ers.
Very nice.
Here's Quay Walker just timing the snap pretty well.
Let's see here. 33 breakout season.
Not bad. We'll take that, right?
Yeah. Getting home against Trevor Lawrence Jr. I mean, that's what we want. That's what we want. That's what we want. Trevor to be right at this current moment in time, and just be a slightly better Brock Purdy. I think that'd be a celebration.
That's not a bad point. It's not a bad point. Thursday breakout season.
That's it.
All right. Well, I apologize, but an hour 31. That's a good show. That's a good show.
Man, we gotta get you like these Amazon workers, bro. You gotta have the bottle under the desk and just kind of do what you gotta do.
Or if I was like any other normal talking Jaguar figurehead, I would just have a commercial break where I could go to the bathroom and come back and talk. But that being said, their segments are also like 6 minutes long, and we do an hour and a half continuously. So
like, you don't have no Racha Sriacha like promo on record that you could just like just run it back and
that's not a bad idea. Unfortunately,
right. Take a clip of one of your previous ones that you've already done and just like push play. There you go.
Good point. It's a good point. But for tonight, that's where we're gonna wrap it up. So Travis, appreciate you coming on.
My pleasure. As always,
everyone knows where to find you, but in the off chance someone's watching for the first time and they're like, "Oh wow, this is really good. I'm 92 minutes in. I've never heard from Travis. What do you have coming? What's coming up? Where can they find you? Where's all that?"
Well, bigcatcountry.com. We'll keep you up to date on all the upcoming Jacksonville Jaguars news, whether it's the takeaways from Liam Cohen's press conference or the coaching staff search and the tracker with the coordinators and all of that information. The upcoming search for the general manager. Again, bigcatcountry.com, bigcatcountry.com. One of the Jacksonville Jaguars' longest running and largest SB Nation sites for the Jacksonville Jaguars. So absolutely favorite that. And Travis D. Holmes on all the socials, Twitter, X, whatever they call it these days, Blue Sky, all of them. For the most part, that is it. I mean, maybe every so often I'll be on 1010XL or Fox or ESPN or whatever. But when that happens, just follow me on the socials and I'll let you know when it's happening.
And I can't advocate for Travis enough. I mean, Travis is actually good at what he does. And so make sure to...
I forgot the Duval Dive, my podcast with Kyle, the student of the game, Nash. Please like and subscribe. We're like 260 something subscribers in just this past, not even a full season of doing it. So we're just hoping to get that bad boy 500 maybe by next season.
Which is pathetic because you guys are so good at what you do.
I appreciate that.
But these things, they snowball. So you just got to, and again, I'm not trying to talk down on your subscribers because that's the last thing I want to do. I'm trying to say the opposite. I'm trying to say the fact that you don't have triple the subscribers that I do is the fact that these people don't watch, because if they did watch, it's quality content. So please go subscribe to Travis, to Duval Dive.
Thank you.
All that stuff. It's really good. It's always an honor and a pleasure for me to have Travis on because it makes my week to have him on. So thank you, Travis. I want to take a second to say I really do appreciate you coming on. I know your time is valuable. I really appreciate your takes. So thank you. Everyone go subscribe.
And I will see you tomorrow.
Yes, you will. Yes, you will. I can't wait to take a bunch of pictures and post them and be like,
to make the people jealous. Yes,
that's right.
Yes.
I get to hang out with Travis. Y'all don't. That's what I'm gonna say. That's what I'm gonna say. Well, thank you, Travis. Thank you to everyone in the chat. We had some super chats that donated money. Thank you. I appreciate it. I'll see you guys next time that I'm on. Hopefully soon. No telling, but love you guys from the bottom of my heart. And until then, as always, go Jags.